Good morning and welcome to the next episode in Brands Designs. My name is James Davey and I'm here with, as always, Mr. Nathan Lomax. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, James. How are you?
Good, not too bad at all. I'm really excited for today because we have Danny Gray from War Paint for Men. Good morning, how are you doing?
Hi guys, I'm very well. Hope you're well.
Good,
it's sunny
fantastic.
today, so I'm even better.
Blissful. I'm stuck in here with the blinds down so I can get all the lighting right because obviously I need to improve how I'm looking. So great to have you on today, and we'd really like to, as always with the kind of session, it would be great to just get a little sense of War Paint for Men. What is it? Where did you start it? Why did you start it? And where are you in your kind of journey? So feel free.
Perfect. So yeah, Danny Gray. I'm 35, father of two young boys, which is awesome. Carnage. I founded War Paint about 3 years ago. We launched in November 2018. It's a men's cosmetic brand or men's makeup brand. And the reason I founded a men's makeup brand is because I've been wearing makeup for the last 20 years because I suffer with something called body dysmorphia, which is a mental health condition where you're obsessed about the way you look. And the reason I do that is because I was bullied when I was 12 years old in my junior school because my ears were literally like that. So they were that bad, my mum wouldn't let me out if it was windy. That's a joke, by the way. But look, I laugh about it, but at the time it was very distressing. And I started obsessing about the way I looked. So getting to 14, 15, I had my ears pinned back a couple of times. I've had a hair transplant. I didn't really need it, but it made me feel better. When I was 14, 15, got spots. Turned to my sister, gave me some kiss and sealer, and I couldn't believe what a product could do. So I've been wearing makeup for 20 years because it gives me confidence, help me be the real me. And it's a tool I use to help me get through day to day with my mental health. But growing up through those 20 years of wearing a product, especially someone who's straight, it was seen as a big taboo. So I wanted to help sort of break down the barriers around guys feeling comfortable to wear makeup and create my own brand. So I couldn't find another brand that did that. And so I launched back in November 2018, and it's been an absolute roller coaster since then.
Mate, is it such a stigma around males and makeups? And we had a wonderful brand in series 2 of the brand design show called Junie Cosmetics. So we're talking about their vegan lipstick, and everything is typically female based. But we said we've got you on, and we can't wait to just hear that she's kind of taking part in more of a movement. And I guess you were the same, right? You're trying to not only just provide a product, but to show the world that actually it's okay for guys to wear makeup and that there should be no taboo around it.
Do you know what it is? That all you've got to look at is skincare for the last 15, 20 years, right? So 20 years ago, guys hardly wore deodorant. You know, they went down the pub, like my dad. You know, when I was 15, I was going down the pub, all the guys were going down the pub, and you know, they just take care of themselves, but not to the extent of guys do now. That's everything, by the way. It's health, lifestyle. But if you look at skincare in the last 20 years, it exploded in men. But skincare does not make you live a day longer, right? It's not going to improve your health. But what it does do, it reduces your wrinkles and for a guy, that makes them feel great. You know, and it's a product that you use to reduce wrinkles. So it's about the way you look. Yeah, it's not your health. So for me, it's always been a bit of a strange one about, right, well, you can go down the gym, you can, you know, guys work out a lot, or, you know, fashion, or you can do whatever you want, which I love, by the way. I love that in society now, that you're allowed more now than ever. Not allowed, but just do whatever you need to feel comfortable. But look, if you've got a massive spot on the end of your nose, if you've got acne, scarring, anything you want to cover up, you shouldn't use makeup. You know, you shouldn't use that. You can do everything else you want to do, but when it comes to makeup, like you can't. So you can wear whatever you want, go down the gym, get yourself in shape. Because a lot of guys go to the gym because they want to be in shape, not necessarily healthy. There are a lot who do that. You can wear clothes, you can style your hair, but look, if you've got acne that you're already conscious of, you shouldn't wear makeup. You know, so when you think about it in that terms, it's a little bit ridiculous. So all I wanted to do was try and create a brand that guys feel comfortable using it and to get the benefit from it that I have. And I think we've sort of helped do that a little bit, because the amount of messages I get privately and personally is just unbelievable around just saying like thank you, and I've never tried it before. It's given me so much more confidence.
This is changing lives, right, Danny? This is, some people would have been living with a condition or a worry about something, and actually this product is single-handedly changing someone's life, giving them confidence, giving them an opportunity to be who they want to be.
Thanks, mate. And look, when we launched in John Lewis, January a couple of years ago, first ever men's makeup counter in the world, and you could see where people coming in, right? Like one guy, I can always remember this. He had broken capillaries all over his nose. He had a red nose through a condition, and he said he'd been so conscious about it because then he goes, he's a sales guy. Ever into meetings, he was an older gentleman. 32% of our customers are over 50, by the way. Interesting fact.
Wow.
Nice.
He had a red nose, and he said every time we went to a meeting, he just thought they thought he was a drinker.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what's associated with it. And he just said, I've never felt comfortable using anything. Came in, put product on, and he was just blown away by it. You know, that's not the same for everyone, but everyone's going to have a reason to why they want to possibly wear makeup. And look, the other thing, I don't wear makeup for anyone else. I wear it for myself. Now, I've got it on today, and like, a lot of people don't notice. So I'm not doing it for people to notice me. I'm doing it because it makes me feel better. And that's what we're trying to do as a brand.
And I think there's certainly something there. The over 50 piece is really interesting because actually for me, my misconception would immediately be this is for a younger generation who are more open. You know, the gender fluidity debate and all that kind of stuff is no longer a debate. It's a thing. But the over 50s, you're almost more of the mindset that they are the dad down the pub with his lads, do darts at a weekend, great, can't ever think about wearing makeup. But it's fantastic that 32% of your customers are in that age demographic and completely open to wearing makeup.
Yeah, look, man, do you know what it is? Like, our weakest market is the younger generation.
Yeah.
It's a split, really, 30, 18, 30 to 50, 50 plus. But I'm not saying I know everything, but I knew that when I launched the brand because it doesn't matter how old you are, confidence doesn't go.
No.
And just because of the stereotype of guys, like the older generation, they just went down the pub and did this, they're the ones who are going to the gym more now. They're the ones who are getting the skincare routine because they can see the impact of it much better than when you're 18 years old. A lot of people, they don't worry, my skin's fine, you know, but then they're the ones who do it, see how it impacts and makes them feel better. You know, that's why it's the older generation that are driving grooming forwards as much as any. It's not just the Gen Z because they're more fluid and feel comfortable to do it. It's generally because the older generation are using it, seeing the impact of it. And that feeling is amazing. Like, it really is like something small that you can do that makes you lift you a little bit. And that's what I'm a massive believer in. Just do stuff that makes you feel a little bit more confident, you know.
Yeah, well,
I guess that's so difficult. Sorry, but I was just I'm really keen to hear that point, JD. You go.
No. I'm very self-conscious about my eyes in terms of bags under my eyes. It's something I kind of hate. And just to, I knew of you as a brand, but I'd never considered going and understanding.
But this is, that's, do you know what? And that's my whole point around what the brand stood for and what I wanted to do was try and destigmatize it and like get people to think, like, so many people do you feel conscious about stuff like that? And I think, well, I can't. And that's what the brand wants to do, is to make them feel, actually, like, okay, I'm going to try it. It might not work, but if it does, then that's what we're about as a brand. And like, you've just summed it up, like, from a consumer perspective, like what was happening before. I'm conscious about this, but because of my age, because I'm a guy, I can't do anything about it.
And that's not a preconception in my mind that it's something I should or shouldn't do. It's just not really been in my consideration set to go.
It's awareness.
Why
do you know?
Yeah.
And when we launched in John Lewis, it was so interesting to see the people walking past. Right, it's a men's makeup counter in the men's section.
Yeah. And
the reactions of people would they would look at it and go, oh, "What's this? Men's makeup?" And I could see them going, "Oh, it's a thing now. Yeah. I'll try it." Rather than going, oh, because people have been talking about this anyway. You guys have been stealing over halves of their partners, or, and 30% of our customers in the last 12 months have been women. Yeah. And that's purchasing mostly for their other halves or people they know. So what does that tell you? Exactly what we've been talking about. That a lot of guys are at home talking to their partners. What do you do about your partner? Oh, I feel like shit, or I don't feel great. I feel run down, and look at my eyes or look at my skin. They're going away finding our brand, and then it's a great way to introduce them into makeup because it's a male-based brand. So it just screams everywhere that, and as much as people say, oh, well, just go and buy a female product. That's fine. Like, buy whatever product you want. I don't care. I just want guys to wear makeup. But the thing is, a lot of guys, doesn't matter how much, will, the confidence to walk into a store or even go online where it's a very female-driven brand with all the education aimed at females to then buy a product. It's not going to happen.
Danny, let's talk a little bit about your time on Dragon's Den, because of course a lot of people will know you and remember that story. I'm not so much interested in the day or how it went or anything like that, more about how you dealt with the fame that came afterwards, because I guess you maybe expected it to go as it did, maybe didn't, but what perhaps you didn't see coming was just the overwhelming amount of traction that the business got because of it. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so before I went on Dragons Den, we actually we went viral across the UK, across the world in a negative sense. So May 2019, we put something out on Twitter, a video with a very masculine guy wearing product, and it got 8 million views in 24 hours and trended #1 on Twitter. And it's very negative, the feedback we got, because it was very different. No one had done it before. You know, I was on ABC News, Good Morning America. I thought the brand had died. It was very difficult at the time. But what I realised is that started the conversation about men's makeup really in the mainstream for the first time. And then literally 3 months later, I filmed Dragon's Den. So going on to that, you know, the pressure was huge, if I'm honest, because I thought if I get it wrong or they don't like it or laugh it out of the room, then because of what had happened to us previously, you know, I thought that'd be it. So I did not go in there thinking it was going to go as well as it did, honestly. I know everyone, like people say that, but it was very surreal, you know, very nerve-wracking. But at the beginning, it was, you know, do you know all it was? It's like I felt comfortable if they were going to ask me a question, I had the answer for it. And I think that's in anything you do. If you're a salesman or anything like that, if you've got an answer to any question, you know, or negative feedback, then you're generally going to do all right. But look, it went so well, you know, it was a bit of a whirlwind. And then afterwards, I didn't realise how well it went until then it was aired. And what happened afterwards, you know, Daily Mail the next day said like best one in 14 years. Like fans say best in 14 years. Like I trended. I was wearing no socks. Oh, this is hilarious. Look. Hang on, it's frozen a bit. All right, so look.
Yeah.
Because it's warm today.
No socks.
No socks.
No socks. So it trended actually because we were going through Brexit at the time. It was trended no socks for Brexit negotiation. That was my negotiation. And then do you know what? It was funny actually. Afterwards, I got recognised quite a bit, which I didn't expect at all. Like I got stopped, and you know I was at my family up north, and people come over taking photos and stuff. It was so bizarre. And then it was just a bit of a whirlwind afterwards, and then.
And let's just build on that a sec in terms of you're getting stopped, all of this publicity for someone at 12 years old that had zero confidence, was at rock bottom, to suddenly being in public eye, everyone recognizing you. How did you deal with it kind of emotionally? Are you seeing that as a huge achievement? Is it massively stressful? Is there still that underlying anxiety?
Yeah, do you know what? There's still that anxiety, like even now, you know, getting ready and stuff like that. And if I feel like I feel all right in myself, then I can be like this and be very confident and come across very confident. But it still doesn't mean I don't struggle. You know, I've learned to manage it a lot better than I did before because I talk about it. And look, when I launched the brand, at the beginning, my story was very behind. Yeah, it was over here, and like you read a bit about my story, it wasn't front and center. Then we went viral in a negative sense. But what no one did in that was take the mick out of my story, right? And then I came out on Dragon's Den. I was like, right, I've really got to, you know, I've got to tell why I've created this brand. And then when I realised the outpour that happened afterwards, you know, and to be fair, look, that was a big thing for me because locally, a lot of people knew me as this, you know, chatting to lads, happy-go-lucky sort of guy. And then I'm coming out to show the world that I've started a men's makeup brand and I do suffer with something called body dysmorphia. You know, I don't know. I just thought, like, sod it, just do it on Dragon's Den. And
were you worried? Were you worried that the negative reaction and actually your mates might,
not my mates, you know, because they knew, but it's the wider people who sort of know you. You know, that's where I thought. But I thought, look, they're probably going to take the mick out of me and stuff like that. But I thought, I don't care. And that was a big step for me. And then what you know, the outpour afterwards was just incredible. And now my story is very front and center, and I'm proud to talk about it because the messages that I get, it's just overwhelming sometimes. You know, all I'm doing is talking about my story, and people going, you know, and people say, I had a girl reach out to me on Instagram saying her boyfriend she's been with for years has told her that he's got body dysmorphia because he's been following my journey, and she never knew, you know. And now I had a call with him actually on a Friday night.
Nice.
Just to talk.
That's awesome.
Love that.
I'm not doing that for you to say nice, but I did it.
No,
And
That's cool though.
that's incredible.
all they're doing is asking me questions about body dysmorphia and mental health. So actually, look, this is a bit of a first, but I've just created another business as well. It's a non-profit organisation, and it's called Jack. Stands for JAAQ. Just ask a question. That's going to be a mental health platform. That honestly, guys, it's going to change the world, and I'm not even exaggerating. And I'm launching it in a big way in a few months, and that's off the back of so many people reaching out to me about mental health and asking me questions. I wanted to create something that could help do that. So I'm funding it through War Paint currently, but because that for me is more important than selling products.
Just quickly, we glossed over the fact there that you called someone on a Friday night, one of your customers that's been struggling with body dysmorphia, as an owner founder that's incredibly busy and have hit certain levels of success. You've still remembered your roots and taken the time out of your diary to call someone. I don't think that's something that should be glossed over, because if more owner founders were more in touch with their customers, just think what a world we could create. Yet sometimes we get wrapped up in success and think, okay, well, we're over here now. These people are beneath us. But actually, bloody hell, that was you one day. That was once upon a time. That person was you.
Yeah, never mind. And look, I'm not telling you because I want you to say it, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
But doing something like that, I actually enjoy it, and I've done quite a lot of those. If I'm honest, it's not just one. Like I spoke to a daughter and her dad. I spoke to a mum and a 30-year-old son who she just said she worked at the NHS for 35 years, and so he's just down on confidence, and like, can we have a chat? And I had a chat with them, and just having this conversation with someone, the impact it can have is just unbelievable. And that feeling, I'm telling you now, mate, but that beats any money or any amount of products I'm ever going to sell. Honestly, it's amazing, and that's what I want to try and do to an even more of an extent with Jack.
That sounds incredible. When you go, so the bit I love is that what you seem to have created is an emotional connection with your audience, and that is not necessarily. It's something most brands will try and manufacture, isn't it? You see a lot of brands trying to manufacture that connection, but actually, what you've done with just being honest, open, and forward with the product and your history, I think how has that changed you as a brand, or is it going to change? Go
on. As I said before, I launched the brand without, I didn't really want to tell my story too much because I was a little bit ashamed of it. And now it's all about that, because what it was 10 years ago, do you know what you could do? You could go to China through a platform I think everyone knows. Mm-hmm. You could buy a T-shirt, you could put a brand name across it, give it some influencers, and all of a sudden you've got a brand. Like, customers are very aware and very savvy now, and know that happens, and you can't do that anymore. You can't just create a brand out of, I found, I want to sell something and put it on Amazon. As much as you see this on Instagram, and people all, follow me and pay this money, and we'll show you how you can take a product from here and sell it on Amazon and do this drop shipping and stuff like that. Why are all these people doing that and selling you a course if they could do it? Make loads of money out of it. What's the point of selling you a course and charging you for it? They should be doing it for free.
They want to share their story and
of course they do, yeah. And how they achieve everything, and they want to charge you for it. But that's what happens. And and as I said, the amount of customers, I get people messaging me saying, "Look, I love what you're doing. I love your brand. I'm not ready for makeup yet, but I just wanted to tell you that." When does that ever happen? That for me is amazing. I've literally got messages saying I'm not ready for makeup. I just want to say, I think what you're doing is great. And so that, and the thing is as well, right? Anything I've done, if you have to fake it, like fake selling something that you don't believe in, it's so hard and it's exhausting. Like everything I do, like talk to you guys, is so easy because you don't have to lie. You don't have to create something up, and it's easy. When I'm doing content or we're filming something, like they're just filming me trying to have a good time, trying to create this brand, and I don't have to act in a different way. Look, we're doing something this year in the next few months, which is going to blow everyone away. And I was told I had to do it in a certain way. What we're doing, I can't tell you what it is, but we're doing something, and I was told by certain people in how I should approach it. And I was like, why? Why do it that well? Because that's how it's been done before, and you need to be able to do it this way. And I think that's the mentality. Like, I'll just do it your way. And the same with business. If you're doing it born off of your own beliefs and stuff, you do it the way you want to do it, not how you probably should. You know, I didn't have an industry background in beauty at all, or makeup. You know, I'm not a makeup artist or anything like that. And I think that helped in a way.
Danny, I'm keen to understand. Sorry, go on, JD.
Where did you get that knowledge of the makeup industry, apart from just sheer experience? Did you have someone around you, a mentor, or a kind of
no? And you know, yeah. Like at the beginning, it was really tough. If I'm honest, like the first year. So I took 12, 14 months of development before I launched it, and you know, like even this, even packaging. Like everything you have to have on it, like the instructions, shade, like registration, safety certificates. I sourced, this is the old packaging. I mean, look at the testing I went through for. Like it went from like this logo, you know, to like this sort of packaging. Then I went to then I made it more clean. Then I did this, but you know, all of it was just mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. But that's probably the fun bit, you know. But it was hard at the beginning because I didn't know anything. You know. Where do you find a manufacturer? No one wants to speak to you. They put the phone down because what's your MOQ? It's 15 to 20,000 units per shade. So I managed to get a manufacturer after begging. They reduced their MOQ, but my opening order was still 194 grand. So I had to remortgage my house. But what I did do though was test the market first. So I bought some products in from China. I put a badge on it, created a website, and I got, you know, I sold 7 products in 2 days. So I stopped and took it all down, and then I went away, remortgaged my house, sold my car, watches and stuff like that. I had to get some investment from a family member, and then I went away and manufactured my own products. But you know, the opening order was 94 grand. So, and then we launched November 2018. I was like, right, let's see what we can do in a little flat. First month, I forecast 2 grand, we did 11 grand. Second month, we did 28. Third month, we did 34. And I was picking and packing the orders in the flat first month. So,
Danny, I'm just keen to pick up on the mental health story because there's a lot of it in the press at the moment, and rightly so. However, you've come across today as confident and you're on good form, and that's all great. But actually, I dare say you still have down days. How do you deal with those down days? Because I guess that's the frustration with many with mental health is they think it just gets solved and I'm on a good space today, therefore I'm okay. And actually the next day, that's part of the frustration, you're back where you were. How do you deal with, what's that coping mechanism for those negative days or those days where you've got self-doubts, etc.?
Do you know what is that they're going to happen? And the other thing for me is about the word mental health is a dirty word, which is just a bit ridiculous. You know, like everyone's about their body health and physical health. Like mental health, everyone has it. Yeah. So everyone has struggles. Everyone has, some people do different levels. Like I feel in a good place today. That's why I'm quite confident. But, you know, the other day, I was busy at work and a bit stressful going on. You know, I was going somewhere and I changed outfit 5 times and it took me 3.5 hours. But I had to stop. Do you know what I mean? But that was a bad one. But now I've just learned how to cope with it. So instead of, if I'm struggling in the morning with what to wear, instead of trying 5 outfits, you know, I can feel it coming. And where before I just keep trying outfits on and like redoing my hair, you know, I'll just stop and I'll give myself half an hour just to reset. Where before, you know, I'm lucky because I've got my own business now. So if I'm going to be half an hour late, it doesn't really matter. But that's why I think the workplace has got to be a bit savvy to it and be, you know, that pressure of time and being somewhere on time. I'll work hard. And I don't know, it's just using tips and knowing how to manage yourself a bit better, which I didn't know what to do when I was 28, when I was really bad, you know.
There's a real obsession about time, right? And okay, you've got to be in at 9 because there's this meeting at 9:30 and the working week is 37.5 hours and you've got to be there every time. But like you say, when you become your own boss, you do feel that flexibility. But even now, we've got it, and James, I'm sure you've got it as well, where sometimes you're like, okay, well, I've got to be here because I've got a meeting here, or I've got to do this then. But being able to just say, you know what, I'm not in the right headspace, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it because it's detrimental to me being in a good space. And that's far more important than any meeting's ever going to be.
Yeah, and you won't perform to your best either. Yeah, so you wouldn't do anything to your best ability. So the people who work for me now, I'm very open about, you know, you don't have to be in at 8:30. You don't, you know, just get in. just get into your work. And actually one of my head of ecom, I think he was in his first week, he was running late a couple of times. He messaged me the first time, so I'm going to be like 10 minutes late at 9, because I never told him about you have to be in at 9. Second time he messaged me. Third time I said, if you ever message me again, you're going to be late. I'm going to be more annoyed about that. Just don't worry about it. And he said it was a weird environment, because, that's where you get the best. And that's what I would have liked when I was working in corporate, especially when I was struggling to get ready, because I would go in and force myself to go in, and I wouldn't be like this. I just wouldn't talk for the morning,
Yeah. It's hard sometimes when it is that putting on a face piece, which I find, literally, and I say that, and we're talking about makeup for men, but it is about sometimes feeling as though you have to present yourself in a way that others expect, just to get by through the day. And at times that's really, really hard. Making those I have sometimes massively down days, and it's just a case of I've only over the last couple of years learned to say, today is a day where I have to just get through the day, and then I just have to come out the other side and say hello to my kids, say hello to my wife, and make sure that they are not impacted as much as I feel. But they know where I'm in. They know I'm in a space where tomorrow I'll be James Davey, bouncy, crazy bloke that kind of causes trouble, and that's me all over. But it's not easy. It is. Especially in the corporate world, it is so difficult to talk about.
The corporate world, mate. Like yesterday, I had 2 big meetings, massive, right, Zoom calls. I wore a tracksuit. It's a big, because that's what I feel comfortable in, that tracksuit. Yeah. So I know when I'm getting ready in the morning, I don't have to worry, because I'm going to wear that tracksuit. I feel comfortable in it. It'll be easy for me to get ready. I'll be more on form. In that meeting with them, these are big corporates I was talking to. And I said, look, I'll be honest, guys, look, I'm wearing a tracksuit today because it makes me feel comfortable.
But Danny, do you think that's part of the brand and the movement you've created? Is obviously it's more understandable, because it's like, well, actually Danny can do this because of his story and because he's been so open about it, and because body dysmorphia is something that he's described as a challenge of his. Whereas for James, yourself, or myself, perhaps if we did exactly the same and went in this kind of mode as a tracksuit, I guess there's far more education that's needed in the corporate world to say, actually, you know what? We're allowed to wear what we wear. It doesn't have to be suit and tie. If that doesn't make us feel comfortable, then we're not going to wear it. Doesn't matter what you're pitching for.
Well, I feel bad now, because my son's coming to work with us. He's 16. He's going to come to work for us for a couple of months and, do some hard graft and have some money and go and buy a graphics card, probably for his computer. But I said to him, look, don't wear your trackies. Come in a pair of jeans or something. And now I feel really bad about saying that, because
no, do you know what
no, it's true though. Why should I have told him?
Yeah, but do you know what, mate? And this is why does it matter, right? Nintendo, yeah, you remember Nintendo? Yeah. Or still going, very big. Yeah. Do you know why they stole the market and they're a very small business? Is because they were the first to have this mentality, like, we need the best developers in the world. So what we're going to do is say, you can work. We'll give you a key. You work whenever you want, whatever hours you want, and 2 o'clock in the morning, and you wear whatever you want, tracksuit, pajamas. And what they do, they attracted all the best developers, and they went in like forward facing to clients. So okay, maybe not but this is what I want to get out of people's heads around. Like, if you want to wear a suit, right? If you want to wear like a tracksuit because you feel comfortable and you're going to be more performing. Do you know what I mean? If you want to wear a dress and you're a guy, then you wear a dress. Yeah. If that's going to make you feel better and be the real you, then why is this thing about what you should and shouldn't do? As long as you're not hurting anyone. Like, I'm a massive believer in it. A massive believer. Like, I just had a big call. I'm wearing a tracksuit, like up here, zipped up. And I'm like, but guys, and they agreed. They were like, no, I love that. I said, I'm wearing tracksuits today because it makes me feel like it just was easier for me to get ready this morning, be more confident, and I didn't have to worry about it. And that's what we're about.
That's now part of the brand that you've created. That freedom of expression, that freedom of I won't necessarily say speech, but the ability to put yourself out into a space where you actually feel comfortable, regardless of what that takes.
Okay, well, I totally agree. So I'm not agreeing that we're that good a brand, but hopefully that's what we're coming across as. But I'm dyslexic. So not severe, but yesterday I couldn't spell suicide, right? Because I was writing suicide on something, not in a bad way, by the way. Just I'm doing something I'm doing with Jack. Anyway, it took me about 50 attempts, and I just can't do it. when I was at school, they look at that and, you're almost like you're stupid. Where now there's a lot of work going around dyslexia and learning difficulties that can be a superpower.
Absolutely.
That you can struggle in one sense, but you excel in another. But that's us evolving as a society, as a nation, as a beings about learning. And I believe this with everything. Like, why should we have to wear a suit to work if you don't want to, just because that's the way it's been done? If we don't evolve, we'll never improve. And that's the same with all of these, especially around mental health. And it is getting a lot better, though it is, but we've still got a long way to go. And, I think that even the school education system is looking at potentially removing uniforms. Because that'll be a pain for me. I'm a parent, because it's easy for a uniform, the same thing every day. But again, it's like an expression and you can be yourself, or, it's a nice thing to do. So look, we're talking about clothes, but for me, it's that clothes solidifies a lot more. Do you know what I mean?
It's about your outward projection, isn't it? Your clothing, your outfit, and the way you want to look is your outward projection. Like, I wanted to look like a farmer this morning for some.
But look, mate, look. This is what I'm saying. Like, don't just wear whatever makes you feel comfortable. If you want to wear a shirt, then wear your shirt. That's what it's about. And I think, come in, work when you want, work. That's what I say to anyone who starts for me. Just work hard. Yeah, we'll have the best time. You wear what you want, work whenever you want. We're not going to micromanage you, and just enjoy it. But we'll know if you're not. And
Danny, when your kids. Sorry, mate. When your kids are of an age when they can really appreciate the story of Warpaint and the journey you've been on, is that like one of your main motivators now in terms of leaving a legacy for them and creating a world where they can be free to dress and behave as they wish?
Do you know, honestly, mate, now I've got two young boys. That's why I'm on a mission. And honestly, this thing I'm doing called Jack is going to be, it's going to be 10 times bigger than Warpaint, 10 times quicker. I know, just because of the interest I've already got in it. It's a non-profit. I'm making zero money out of it. It's taking me time. I've lost weight because I've got a lot, but that is about leaving something like that for your kids to be proud of. Yeah. Like that is.
And I guess having those kids really reset the perspective and just actually made you think, what Warpaint continues to go on its journey, but actually now there's a bigger purpose, and it's not just about your journey. It's now about their journey and how you can leave something that they can be proud of. And
yeah, of course. And my family. Yeah. Like my mum, my dad, my mates, like to be proud of something you've done. Like, as I said about, that feel good factor. It doesn't matter how much money in the world it is, like feel good factor. And people have feel good factors if they've got a job for 18 grand a year, but they enjoy their family life. That's a feel good factor, and they love their life, We
were talking earlier about chasing the pound, because actually so many entrepreneurs go into business chasing the pound. It is about the next investment raise. It's about the next big deal. It's about X, Y, Z. But there's a lot to be said for chasing the joy of what you do, and then the pound could follow.
Do you know what it is? It's the process, right? So the process of anything, right? So if someone is in they're in VC, they're a VC, and they'll set out, let's go and get deals and make money, right? The making the money is good, but it's the feeling and everything of doing that, right? If you are a designer, a graphic designer, you creating the most amazing website or bit of imagery or something like that, that is what's amazing. That's the process that feels good. People move away from that process that they enjoy to about just chasing a pound, like going and buying some product they don't believe from somewhere and putting it on Amazon. That, I promise you, doesn't matter how successful it is, that it doesn't, that feeling you don't get. And with Warpaint, I love every day what I'm doing because it's the process of what I'm doing. We're growing fast as a business. I promise you, I'm more skint now than I've ever been in my life, right? But I don't care because I absolutely love what I do. I can't wait to go to bed to wake up in the morning.
That's a great place to be. That really is. And I wish that could be said for everyone. But I'm very fortunate to be in that position. And I want to get across. You don't have to be a founder to have that, or you don't have to start your own business. You don't have to be a multi-billionaire to do that. And that's what I think people misconstrue a little bit. Just because if you have a job that you're happy with and you enjoy your life and you've got time with your family and you love it, Completely agree.
What better way to end today's episode? Danny, I know you've got to get off sharp. And so I just wanted to say on behalf of James and I, what an amazing story. And it's, okay, you might say, we're just saying this, but bloody hell, that was, I got goosebumps at some of those points. That was mega. That was a really enjoyable episode. So thank you, mate, for giving up your time. It's been a wicked episode. James, as always, it's lovely to host these things with you guys. And what a great way to finish. Series 2, episode 3 will be remembered for a very long time. So thank you, Danny. Thank you so much for what you're doing for guys across the world and helping them grow their confidence. And for those that are listening, if you're thinking to yourself, okay, am I ready? Am I not ready? You know what? Just try it. Just try it. Just if it makes you feel better, it's about time that as a society, we stop trying to please everyone else and we start to please ourselves. But for now, from James, from myself, and from Danny, thank you all so much for watching. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.